Welcome everyone to this special session as part of our orientation and training sequence for the 2021 annual virtual ARA annual meeting. Many of you may have been to some of our other sessions. On Monday, we did a session for the attendee experience for those not in necessarily in roles in sessions as presenters, chairs, discussants, commentators, lecturers, participants in some way in a session. We've had one general orientation about the annual meeting and the nature of this platform, this environment that we will experience together. The many opportunities from them, from social networking opportunities to the benefits of being in a single environment with essentially one entry point and being together on whether we think of it as the ARA virtual conference center, much like entering a conference center or going to an island together or a satellite station together. It's a kind of one-stop shopping that is user-friendly, extraordinarily secure, backed by very powerful surveys without you needing to save and follow lots of URLs that are more classically offered effectively for one-off events that many of you have given in your varieties of teaching or lecturing or presenting modes or attended. The virtual experience and this platform is quite a bit different. We will not be focusing on that in this session in any major way. We have the general orientations and information that is very user-friendly. In saying that, you don't have to spend lots of time going to pre-recordings, which are available, although we encourage going to them. We encourage attending tomorrow's town hall meeting or other of our sessions and looking at the fact sheets that we hope are user-friendly. But this is a very intuitive island together, and we look forward and welcoming you as we roll out the virtual annual meeting this year and the many features that it offers. We, by design, started a little bit more slowly. I think it might have been Washington, DC time, 12:04, because we do expect over 1,000 participants, and you cannot enter a Zoom meeting simultaneously in any way, or in this case, as a Zoom webinar. I am Felice Levine. I think of myself as both the executive director of ARA, my formal position and role, but for purposes of any kinds of events that ARA convenes, including the annual meeting, there are non-members who attend, people from other fields. We are here to serve you, and our role as an association is to enable the success of the field, advancements of all of you who are part of this field, whether member or non-member, and in particular, graduate students and early career scholars, with our tremendous emphasis and commitment to inclusive capacity building to all who touch or identify or see themselves or not as part of the broad field of education, research, and learning across contexts of learning and developmental stages. This session, as I indicated, will focus on the discussants, the presenters, all of you who have, in addition to attending, we're expecting that you have roles. I suppose I should say the meeting will be brought to you live. All events will be live. There will be recordings of those events that will be available for those who register and attend, so you don't have to wonder what's going on simultaneously in some other place. And we too, I suppose, maybe it goes without saying, I am live. I'm sitting here with, I suppose, a lighter top and a dark jacket and somewhat silver hair behind pictures of my family, and I see you as our family. And we want this large session to be as intimate and engaging as possible, with our emphasis on you and the roles you will play in sessions beyond the attendee role, whether you are in a paper session, a poster session, a roundtable session, a symposia session on all of its various formats, a structured poster session, a structured roundtable, even if some of the lecturers in our group have attended. And if you are in an official role and serving as chair of a business meeting reception, whether a division VP or a SIG chair, this is all about you today. And we want to move into that motif. Nathan, if you would bring up the agenda that is posted in the, I think it's posted in the Q&A. We do not have the chat function as an active function, not because we don't love the interaction between and among the 1,000 with us today, but the chat function overrides and makes it much more difficult for those with disabilities to have easy access to the main show while the chat is going on. Q&A does not present that kind of challenge. So we ask you to use the Q&A. We'll be keeping up with the Q&A and also raising issues from the Q&A that are of general importance and that should be shared out, even though we will be providing specific answers, largely because we want you to benefit from the presentation and not be preoccupied by what someone is saying in response to someone else to the Q&A. If in the Q&A you really have a general issue that isn't a specific question or answer, but something you feel is missing that we should be addressing in that session, by all means, add that to that session so that that issue can be raised by those monitoring the Q&A. You view, or I will describe, that we have ASL, as ARA does for all of its events, webinars, forums. We have the benefit of 2 ASL colleagues who are working with us today, Michelle and Lina. And Renee is doing live closed captioning. If you wish to follow the live closed captioning, there is at the lower end of your screen live transcript, and you can activate that and see the live closed captioning. The agenda that has just been shared, and that is in the, I think it's in the Q&A box, essentially captures, I hope, what I've now said in brief, and that is that the heart of this meeting is focusing on chair, discussant, and presenter roles. And we're going to do that with our innovative platform, the Scarrett Group, which is the choice and the first choice among, I suppose Robert would say to me, our meetings director, Robert Smith, and we're doing about 40 or 45 of these examinations. And so when something surfaces as on the top, it is not just some random event. It was by design of many demonstrations, much investigation and evaluation. This group has been doing video broadcasting for some 12 years. They've been doing it in highly secure environments that have as their backbone clinical trials. This is a very secure environment that once you enter as a registrant into the platform, it is both user-friendly, accessible, and one that that a lot of the one-stop shopping is essentially done for you so that you can enjoy the environment. I will not go into detail, but I do want to emphasize that this platform and the way that we have constructed the annual meeting this year has the range of formal live sessions that you experience when you go to an in-place meeting, but we have created lots of break time And in the middle of the meeting, I will say, which may for some be in the evening, may for some, I suppose, be early morning, but in the middle of the meeting span, there is a 1 hour networking opportunity. That's a break time, or you can go to planned networking sessions that will be led by moderators. There's the opportunity for coffees at the beginning, or any way you want to gather with others. You will learn how you can do that and have both written chats as well as at will. You can create your own video chats with people that you want to hang out with, someone you haven't seen for years. You can bleep them in the system and join with them. And toward the end of the day, before business meeting and events. So this is very much an effort for working with the Scarrett platform that is really unbelievably robust in its capacities to be able to provide this environment and our meeting as an environment that is appreciative of the need for break time, downtime, no 2 hour sessions. All of the posters and roundtables are in 1 hour sessions, only 1.5 hour symposia or paper sessions with time for you to both recoup and, I would say, hang out during the meeting. The agenda, I suppose, continues to remain posted. I will now turn it over to Robert Smith, and then he will turn it over to the Scarrett group, and we will be demonstrating what you both are asking and have been asking about what it's going to be like to be in a role in a session. And then we will follow on with a presentation with Emily Biddix, who you may have had the experience of hearing or seeing her in one of our other sessions. She has joined with our team as a consultant with particular emphasis on disability access and guidance more generally, in access that will improve the meeting for everyone. And we will be turning to her for some additional guidance as we take your questions and share with you how your role is being provided for and maximizing the opportunities so that you can focus on the work that you would do if we were indeed place-based, which in 2022, we are confident that will be the case in San Diego. Robert?
Good afternoon, good morning. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Felice. Thank you for being with us. I think you're going to find this session is going to answer many of the questions that you have and many of the questions that we've been getting both through the annual meeting mailbox and in different ways from our chairs and presenters. And so we look forward to having you with us today. Couple of things. If you've not registered yet for the meeting, please do. In less than 3 short weeks, we'll all be together in a virtual space, and we look forward to having you. With no further ado, I'm actually going to turn it over to our colleagues at Scarrett and let them get started.
Okay. Rachel, you're going to pick up, right? Thank you.
Thanks, Felice. Thanks, Robert. Hi, everybody. My name is Rachel, and I work with the Scarrett Group Meeting Planning Company on this year's virtual conference. So I'm going to be sharing my screen and walk you through some very helpful features with the virtual conference center. So the first thing I'd like to point out are a few high-level pieces of information that I'll also repeat throughout this presentation. So in this presentation today, we are going to go over 2 different styles of virtual sessions. These 2 live session platforms are important to all of you because while your specific session may take place in one, there is some overlap. So please be prepared to follow along with both of them. The next thing I'd like to point out is you are going to be screen sharing your presentation. No matter what the format is, you will be screen sharing. So if you built it in iPoster, if you built it in PowerPoint, if you're sharing it from your desktop, if it's open in a tab on your browser, you will be screen sharing your presentation. You will not be building it within our virtual conference center. It will be prepared before you present. and you will simply be sharing your screen. We can continue to dive into that as we go. As Robert mentioned, registration is very important. It is also mandatory. So every single presenting author involved in your presentation needs to individually register for this conference. You will not be able to forward a link. You will not be able to share login information. There will be an error message if you attempt that. So please make sure that everyone on your team, on your poster, on your paper, on your presentation, everybody has to individually register for the conference. And we are requesting that you do so by March 25th. If you have not registered by March 25th, we will not be able to guarantee that your login credentials will be sent to you on time for your presentation time slot. So I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to make sure you register as soon as you can. A really quick overview before we dive into the platform is there's going to be some system preferences and requirements sent out. If you are joining from your workplace and you have a lot of IT restrictions, it's going to be very important that you share this information with your IT department. If you have a VPN that you connect to, we recommend in advance that you try to disconnect from that before you join. It may just make for a smoother experience from your perspective. We will have the platform open at the beginning of April, and as soon as it's available for you to log into, you will be notified. So now let's dive into the virtual conference center. On my screen is the login page. In the center of the screen, you'll have a spot to put in your email and your password, which will be emailed out to you. And then you'll click in the center of the screen, login. The first page you're going to land on is the landing page, and it's going to be filled with content that AERA chooses to share with everybody. We're going to breeze through this to get to the live session platforms. So at the bottom center of the screen, we'll click to enter. The first thing I want to point out before we dive into the live sessions is in the bottom toolbar, there's an icon towards the right that says profile. In this icon, when you click to edit your information, there's going to be a place that you can upload your profile photo. And at the top of this window, there's a tab that says bio that you can type in your speaker bio. This information is going to carry over into the agenda view. So if anybody clicks on your name as a presenter or a speaker on that session, this information that you enter in your profile is going to carry over to that. So it will be up to you individually to upload that information if you choose to. To access your session, we're going to go to the top toolbar under today's events. Anyone that has a speaking role will be able to see all the sessions listed here. You can utilize the search bar to help streamline that. So we're going to dive into the live session everyone here is waiting for. And as I mentioned earlier, there's two different ones we're going to look at. This first one is going to be a smaller, more intimate setting type session. So this applies to the papers and posters and roundtables. So I'm going to click on the play icon to enter the live session. And you'll notice in the perimeter of the screen, you can see this graphic. It looks like some chairs are set up theater style. I know that it's a virtual world, but in an attempt to make everything feel as it may have in a face-to-face meeting, we're going to change the virtual background image as it applies to the different session types. So a quick example of this would be, this is the larger view of the picture for the paper sessions. A more theater look is chosen for the poster sessions, and a round table or a conference table is chosen for the roundtable sessions. So those are just a few visual examples. Now, when we're back in the actual live session platform, you'll be able to type in your name however you want it to appear. And there's a blue icon that says join meeting. Now I'm going to turn my camera off on Zoom so I can turn it on in the platform. All right, so you can see that there's a few different ways that you can format your display. So right now, everyone in this setting has the same rights. We can turn on our microphone and camera with the bottom middle icons. So presenters, you may want to be on camera, chairs or discussants may want to be on camera. On the left-hand side in the bottom corner, there's a message bubble icon, and that's going to be a text chat location. So both you as the presenter or the chair, as well as the attendees, can all type in here. In the bottom right corner, there's a toggle view icon, and clicking this will allow you to change the format of the screen. So if there are several people on camera and you're all interacting with one another, this may be the friendliest option for you. If you want to expand one person's screen, you can click on that to enlarge them. And then in the bottom left corner, you're going to share your screen. So when it's time for you to present your content, this is where you'll be clicking. It'll prompt you to choose which screen you want to share if you have multiple. And then you'll be able to do your presentation from here. So you can put it in presentation mode and share all the slides on your presentation. If you would like to see who is in your session at any given time, in the bottom right corner, there's a menu icon. If you hover over it, it reads more actions. And clicking on speaker stats is going to show you everybody in your session. So that is a pretty quick overview of what these sessions look like and how they function. And I'm going to pause for a moment. My coworker, Mackenzie, and my other coworker, Asia, are both on the line with me today. And Mackenzie is monitoring all the questions that you're submitting. And Asia is going to help me answer them. So at this time, Mackenzie, are there any questions related to the smaller, more intimate setting that we can address?
Yes, there is a couple. Can you show where the screen share icon is again for everyone, please?
Yes. In the bottom left-hand corner, there's three icons. There's the chat icon, the screen share icon, and then a raise your hand icon. It looks like a computer screen with an arrow pointing to the right, and that is where you'll click to share your screen. And it'll then prompt you to choose which window, if you have several, you would like to share.
Thank you. And the next question was, can we use virtual backgrounds in these sessions?
Unfortunately, as you can see, my unpacked boxes and my very bland walls are on display because there are not virtual background options in this platform.
The next question is something I think you addressed at the beginning, just of if the audience is automatically muted and videos turned off.
That's a very good question. So because we're going to be looking at two different types of live session platforms, this first one that we're in, the audience has the same ability to turn on their microphone and camera as the presenters and chairs do. So they will be able to come off of mute and turn on their camera. And that's why we're using this platform for these sessions. It does create a more intimate setting where everyone can be communicating as if you were at a round table. So they will be able to turn on their mic at any time. I would say that if that causes any issues, you could politely request that they mute themselves. I don't believe I have the ability to unmute somebody. So you'll have to ask them to mute themselves if that's causing any distractions.
And then we did also get a couple of questions about breakout sessions in these types of meetings.
Great question. So breakout sessions or sub-sessions for your main event are going to be predetermined. We won't be able to create them on the fly. So we are working with AERA to determine how many need to be assigned for each one. And when you're in your session, in this top toolbar, there's going to be an icon for you to click. This may still be a work in progress. Right now it says breakouts. It may say something like sub-sessions or table sessions for the actual live event. But clicking that icon is going to open up all the smaller sub-sessions dedicated for your particular event. They'll be listed on a screen in the middle of your window here, or a window in the middle of your screen rather. And it'll be the same process of entering them by clicking the blue play button to the left of each name. The ones that appear here are only going to relate to the session you're in. So you won't be seeing breakout sessions for someone else's live event. They will only pertain to the one you're viewing at that time.
And then we have a couple of questions. People are just wanting a little clarification on how they enter the session as a presenter. So are you able to just show again how you just clicked in from the agenda?
Let me leave this live session here. In the top toolbar, if you ever need to find a session at any time during the event, you'll click on today's events. It's the first option in the top toolbar. And any session that is currently open or you're allowed to go in and view at that time, it'll be a blue play button. If it looks any different, that means that the session hasn't started yet. So you won't be able to enter if it doesn't have that blue play button, but it will turn blue when you're able to enter. And there's going to be several sessions listed here on the days of the events. So I encourage you to use the search bar. If you know what the title is or a particular author that you're looking for, that can be utilized through the search.
Rachel, I do have one comment to add there for clarity. If you are assigned a role, a chair or a presenter role, anything where you are going to be a part of how that session operates, your sessions will be populated in the My Schedule tab. So you can always just go straight to My Schedule and see everything that applies to you as a presenter or a chair.
And Asia, the other point about that is if you have a role, you will arrive 10 minutes early. So the attendee will not be able to get into a 10:40 session until 10:40, but a presenter of a paper or the chair or the discussant, any role is programmed through the all academic system. You go into My Schedule, you hit that session ideally 10 minutes early so that you can all check on everybody being there. The mics are on, the mics are off, any particular final tips before the attendee arrives at the appointed hour if the session starts at 10:40. So that's the vehicle of getting there not only in time, but not walking in at the final hour when the audience is walking in.
Yes, thank you, Felice. To make it easy, as Felice mentioned, please do join the 10 minutes early, but you can always just go straight to the My Schedule tab and find your session right away. If you, for some reason, need to refresh your screen, or maybe, unfortunately, your computer rebooted and you need to get back into a session, you can always go straight to the My Schedule, and everything that you've been assigned to and have a role in will be there for you.
Yeah, and I just have a couple more questions if we have time. It's just two that I just want to cover really quickly. We're getting a couple of questions about Zoom. So I just want to reiterate that these are not Zoom links. You don't have to have a bunch of Zoom links to find out where to go for your session. You will simply go to this schedule that Rachel has open on the screen, find your session, and you will click into it directly from here. And second was, we have a couple more screen share questions asking how it connects to the iPoster presentation. What Rachel showed in her example was just sharing her screen. So whatever you would like to share in your presentation, you can share that screen. She had chosen a PowerPoint for this particular example. But if you are sharing directly from the presentation gallery, you can do that as well. You will just share your computer screen instead of an application.
Okay, thanks, Mackenzie. So should we move into the next live session example now?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So this next one we're going to be diving into is going to be for the demonstrations, invited roundtables, invited speakers, structured posters, and symposium. So we'll enter the session the same way with the blue play button. However, this one's going to look a little bit different because this one, your attendees aren't going to be joining with access to their microphone and camera by default, like the first one we just went over. However, you as the author or the presenter or even the chair will be able to grant access to microphones and cameras if you choose to virtually bring an attendee onto the stage with you. So I'm going to start by going up to the top toolbar off to the right and click full view to make this a little bit easier for myself. And right now I only have the view of an attendee. So this will give you an example of when someone enters your session, this is all they'll be able to view, whatever the presenter is sharing on the screen and who's there in the session. They'll be able to engage in the public chat and submit questions in the Q&A. But if my colleague Asia, who's in the presenter role right now, is going to promote me up to the presenter, I'll be able to show you what you're going to view. So now you can see that a lot more icons in the top toolbar have appeared. You're going to, just as we described in the beginning, share your screen. And if you choose to, share your camera. So I will click on this screen icon that looks like a computer screen. It looks like the same prompt as it was in the first example. I select which screen I want to share. And then it'll appear in the platform for everybody to see. So it says here that this is a smaller version of what attendees are seeing. So it's less distracting to you as the presenter, but I can always change what people are seeing, and I can turn my camera on so that I'm on screen while I'm presenting my content. So if you're looking over in the public chat and you see people are engaging with you, maybe someone says, I'd like to ask you a question, then you can go over into the chat under it's going, Asia, can you explain how to have someone turn on their microphone? I'm not sure if I'm up in the host role right now.
Correct. So you are in the presenter mode, so you would not be able to do that. So let me go ahead and move you to the host.
Okay, thank you. Perfect, thank you. So now we have the host panel, which you as the presenter or author will have access to. So you see there's quite a few settings over here. So if you did not want to have both Q&A and chat, you would prefer everything get streamlined into one place, you could turn off the Q&A so everything is going into one location. And then down below, it says individual permissions. This is the panel on the right-hand side that I'm looking at. You can see that myself and Asia are in the administrative role. So we have the most amount of privileges in this session. We can control the most items. And then if anyone were in the attendee role, we could click on their microphone and camera icon, and that would simply allow them to turn on their microphone and camera and interact with you in your session. So just as Felice mentioned with the other sessions, we would ask that you join 10 minutes early to make sure you're all set up, you like how your camera and your backdrop are looking. It won't be a virtual backdrop, so station yourself somewhere that you like what's behind you. You can choose to be on camera. You can always turn them on and off at the top toolbar next to where you share your screen. It's very easy to see if it's on or if you're muted. It changes colors and there's a slash that goes through it. There's also text that says if it's on or off, so it's very easy to see. And you can always engage in the chat, just like in the first example we had. So there's just a few differences. I know it looks a little bit different, but the functionality is going to be the same, where you enter and you share your screen, no matter what platform it's on. So I will pause here, Mackenzie. Are there questions that specifically came up for this live session?
I think the main questions that we're getting are regarding the chat functions and if people will be able to chat directly with each other. So if we could show the chat function in here and how it's public and what the private accessibility is. And then if you could actually touch on the platform chat, I think that would answer a lot of questions.
Okay, I can do both of those. So while we're in this setting, the chat is going to be on the right-hand side, and there's a public and a private mode. So if you're in the public chat, you can type a message here and everyone is going to see it. If you click on private, you'll see that everybody in the session is going to be listed here. You can send them a private message simply by clicking on their name, and now it'll read chat with Mackenzie Lawrence. So now I'm only talking to Mackenzie. And if I go back, you can see anyone that you have a private conversation with under active chat. So Asia sent me a private chat that nobody else can see. And it's simply by toggling from public to private to navigate between them. There's also going to be one private chat for anyone in the presenter role, which could be beneficial if you have multiple authors on this particular session, or if you needed to talk specifically with your chair or discussant without the rest of the audience seeing. This would be a great place to do that. I hope that helps clarify the chat for this platform. I know that there's this other blue rectangle in the bottom right corner that says chats that may be causing a little bit confusion. This chat is going to be in every single room in the virtual conference center, which we can show a little bit of when we end, because we haven't looked at many rooms in this particular demonstration. But it is going to allow you to chat with other attendees throughout the platform. So I think a couple people were asking, are you allowed to run over in your session? The answer is going to be no, because we have so many that are back to back that we will have to stay on schedule. But if you'd like to continue a conversation with somebody once your session ends, you can utilize the chat that's in the rest of the virtual conference center. So once we're done going over questions related to this live session platform, I can go back and answer a few more of those. Are there any other questions specifically about this live session platform, Mackenzie?
Yes, so when you were sharing your screen, the window is quite small. So some people were asking if we could make that bigger. I just wanted to clarify that that is the presenter view of what you are screen sharing, as you just see a smaller version of what you're showing to the audience. They do see this in full screen. So on their end, this slide is taking up the entire window, and then Rachel's camera is up in the corner. So this is just the presenter view.
Great. So I don't know, maybe Asia, would you like to share your screen, and I can show everyone what attendees are going to see so they realize it's not going to be as small. That might be helpful to have a visual of. So while she's doing that, Mackenzie, we can move on to another question.
And we have a couple of questions for who will be assigned the host privileges and the presenter privileges and how they get that.
You're automatically going to enter the session in the role that you need to be in to conduct your presentation. So if you are the presenter, you will have the ability to do all the private chats, the public chats, and share your screen. If you are a discussant or a chair, you will have the same privileges because you will be helping go through the questions that are submitted to the presenter and navigate any attendee concerns as well. If they wanted to unmute, you'd be able to help with that. So we are going to take your role from All Academic, and it's going to integrate into our platform so that when you enter your session, you're entering in the appropriate role. So you have the features that you need to conduct your session successfully.
If I can just add, and the chair of that session will have the additional capacity to call upon people. If it's a small room, like a paper session, they'll be able to call upon people, bring them. If it's a small group, they can invite others to put their video on. They will be able to invite everyone. So they'll have additional control. The reason why we give the chair, or Scarrett has advised us, giving the chair that additional role, is that we don't want someone inadvertently to press session end, just in moving from function to function. And it's only the chair, the session will immediately end after an hour and a half if it's a symposia or a paper session, and 1 hour if it's a roundtable, but we don't want lots of persons having buttons that they wouldn't ordinarily use. So the chair, in essence, is the team leader of that event. And so the chair has a couple of extra functions that, as Rachel just described, will be, programmed as part of that role.
Thank you, Felice. And going back on that previous question, now that I am not the person sharing my screen, you can see that this is what the attendees will view as well. It will be full screen. So not to worry, it will be very easy for everyone to see when you share your screen.
Rachel, this is Emily, the access consultant. Will it be that small for all? I'm worried about presenters who may have a vision impairment themselves and need to see their own presentation. Is there any way to make that bigger on the presenter side because that was so tiny?
If the presenter is sharing their screen, so I have the two monitors. So maybe my monitor where the live session is, it's small, but I still have it in full screen on my monitor that I'm sharing from. So they should still be able to have it as full screen. Were you going to add something to that, Asia?
It was. And the reason that the preview is there is only so that you can verify that you are sharing the right screen if you have multiple monitors, or you have the option to, if you have a single monitor, to only share the application window of your PowerPoint or your web browser, whatever you are sharing. So it's a small preview and it will stay a small preview, but the idea is that you will switch and you are just viewing your main content. And that's something that the user, based on their equipment, would decide what feels comfortable to them.
Another reason to join early so you can get the hang of it.
All right, and then there are a couple of questions, Rachel, for if there's multiple presenters and if they can both be on screen, and the answer is yes. So as you can see, I can turn on my camera here as well, and we can both be on screen at the same time. And if you don't have content that you're sharing for your session, then you can be just on camera with whoever needs to have their video on, or it can be a few of you with your camera on and a presentation. So that is customizable to you and what is occurring in your session. All right, let me see if anything else came through.
Thanks for all the examples, Asia. So now you're seeing you can have your cameras on with multiple presenters and the content. So you have very diverse options in the platform.
And then Rachel, we're getting the breakout question again. So if you could just show that toolbar one more time for this session.
Okay, great. So this is actually going to be the same as the first example we gave. So if you have some smaller subsessions to your event, in the top toolbar, it will be the same icon we used before and the same process. Any subsessions related to your event will be listed here, and you can click the blue play button to enter whichever one you wish. So it will be the same functionality for that portion.
And then one more question, if we have time, is just what happens if a chair doesn't show up or skips the presentation? And I think this goes along with the timing of the session and starting on time, ending on time.
Right, so you will have to move forward without your chair. We'll have to stay on schedule. So if there isn't a chair there and you were expecting one, I would encourage you to just move forward with your presentation for the audience. And you'll just have to let them know, like we'll have to pause at the end for questions if you're not comfortable hopping back and forth between presenting and reading your questions. So unfortunately, if that happens, that will have to be a contingency plan on the fly and try to make the best of it.
I'd say not unlike a place-based meeting, but we strongly urge anyone sharing to get into the platform and do what they've agreed to do. So a non-show of a paper presenter or of any form of presenter or of chair or discussant is without, some crisis that one could not anticipate in advance. If a crisis comes up, the best thing you can do, and there are going to be helplines and help emails, and actually even a help desk, is to let ARA staff know as far in advance so that we can figure out how to ameliorate your crisis. But just the decision that it's a rainy day, and therefore I'm going to just not follow up on my community responsibility would not be the best practice to recommend. So the platform is no different than finding yourself at a bar and deciding you don't want to show up for a session because you're having too much fun talking to colleagues.
Exactly. So we'll do our best to find someone to maybe jump in and substitute for you, but move forward and stay on schedule if you can.
And before we continue, I did just want to acknowledge that I do see quite a few questions from the audience on how to structure your session, whether it is a structured poster, a roundtable. So those are going to be things that the AERA team will help communicate and facilitate and give you that information. These are the tools that you'll have in order to, at your disposal to run your session. But if you are a roundtable and you are you're prompting the discussion, you would come on camera and do just that as you would if you were sitting at a table. And those around you can choose to engage. They can have their camera on. Maybe they just want to listen. Maybe they're kind of a second row chair. Those are going to be things that we strongly encourage that you take the time to curate your session and how you feel it's best going to run now that you have seen the platform and the technology. And Felice, feel free to chime in here at all if I'm overstepping, but I just want to make sure that for every session everybody is running. It's highly recommended that just as if you were in person, you take a few minutes a week before and you figure out who's going to be leading things, who's going to be tackling topics, how you're going to hand off presenters, etc. That is something that you as a chair and as a presenter will work to formulate how your session will run. Felice, go ahead.
Yes, __ Asia is exactly right. She's embraced and internalized how we operate as a scholarly community. I am seeing in the Q&A, and I've been trying to handle some. Well, I'm a first-time attendee. I'm not quite sure how this operates. And while at any, or I'm an old timer and maybe I just forgot, or I'm used to some pattern that we had one question at the orientation last Friday about what's a roundtable, and somebody remembered how roundtables used to be, and there was an answer, oh, well, you sit at a table by yourself and then people will join you, and that was changed in 2010. I think we'll have to have, and maybe it's just good practice in general now that we have this technology, we'll try to schedule a couple of open sessions for, I'm either doing this for the first time. It really has little to do with virtual. We've got a lot of guidance about how what a paper session should generally look like, the different modalities of symposia. I think many of these questions are around roundtables, posters, and paper sessions, and transcending the platform. Asia's exactly right, and Rachel will add a few, and I suppose, questions and conversation around being in a session and what can I do to maximize the experience. But one thing Asia ended with is definitely the case. We always encourage for the ones that AERA drives in invited sessions. We just have, we used to have conference calls in advance. I suppose now we'll have Zooms in advance. Might be 1 week in advance, or if your session is on the 11th, and everyone is in the platform, you can create your own live meetup and discuss it on the 9th. And you'll just become more comfortable if you have that kind of communication. That sort of transcends platform, but it's also how to get the maximum benefit, both for you and for attendees, to think through how you're doing this. We say guidance, the paper isn't to be read, it's a brief 8 to 10 minute, and that really doesn't vary by chair. I suppose some chairs are a little bit more flexible than others, but it's an opportunity to present and not read, and to make that as accessible as possible. So we'll try to add a couple of things that will help you asking these questions, especially we want first timers, new members, newcomers to feel included, welcome, and not taken by surprise, as is our goal in a place-based meeting.
Thank you, Felice and Aisha. So I just want to close with one more example of some session types. We've shown you two different looks and feels right now. And if you have a business meeting, a reception, or even a networking session, they may start in a larger virtual live session platform that we didn't show today. But when we showed that there's those smaller subsections that you click into from the dropdown, those would take place in one of the platforms that we did demonstrate. So there's going to be some overlap, and you will be comfortable in all of them once you start to get into it and get comfortable with sharing your screen. But we just wanted to tie them all together. So while you may start in one view, the smaller subsessions may put you in another, because those smaller subsessions want to be the most interactive. And at first, when we showed an example of with everyone having access to their microphone and camera, is going to be heavily used in this virtual conference. So I would like to just give all of you a few best practice tips as well. When you're sharing your screen and you're on camera, that does start to use a lot of the bandwidth with your internet. So some tips we have are to disconnect from the VPN if that applies to you. Make sure you turn off all your other programs, like if you use Microsoft Teams, if you have Skype running, if you have your mail open even, you want to close everything down. Even if you have things in your home that are using your internet, like an Apple TV or an Xbox for your kids, you want to kind of disconnect all of those. So all the internet capability is going straight to your computer for the smoothest experience and hopefully avoid any technical hiccups. We'll be here to help if that happens, but just to give you a little bit of a heads up, those are some good pointers. And if your phone's by you, just keep your notifications off, keep everything on silent. If you have a program that notification bubbles pop up in the bottom corner, you don't want that to appear on your screen when you're screen sharing. So just make sure all those are turned off. So just to reiterate what we said in the beginning, there's two different types of sessions we saw today within the live setting, and make sure that you're comfortable with both and you are asking all your questions, because your session type may end up using both of them. We want to reiterate that screen sharing is how it's going to be done. So you're not building anything in our platform or uploading anything to our platform. You're simply sharing your screen. So build your presentation in whatever modality you're most comfortable with. And please make sure you register. We need everybody that's participating, attending, speaking, backup, everybody is registered with their own login credentials, and we're encouraging all that to be done by March 25th to guarantee that you have your credentials in time for your presentation time slot. So I don't know, Felice, if you want to open it up for a few more questions, or if we, Asia, are you going to add
There
one
was
more
a
thing?
couple of questions that I just wanted to acknowledge. I see a lot of questions coming in about a demo session and having some hands-on experience. Because of the sheer number of presenters, we are working quickly to come up with a solution so that everybody has an opportunity to feel comfortable. But we are going to be giving that information to the AERA team soon, and that'll be coming your way on how we can facilitate a small amount of hands-on time for anybody that's presenting and wants to feel more comfortable. So please know that that is definitely on our radar. That is not a question that we are overlooking. It's just a matter of finding out the best way to do that for you all. And the other thing that I just wanted to address is the number of breakouts and how you can request breakouts. So I'm going to invite Felice or someone else from the team. These are things that are being given to us, but if that is something that you need for your session, Felice or Robert, how should they be communicating that to you?
I would, let me just say that for all those that we know, which is typically in something that we call a session submission, we have created already that space for whether it's a structured poster session or a structured roundtable. For the business meeting and reception part, which is essentially being able to hang out in banquet tables with small groups of others, our SIG chairs and our division VPs are identifying the number of tables they would like. I've just called, they're breakout spaces, but essentially we think of them for a banquet as a kind of a banquet table. And those would probably max out. If you're going to a table and taking some talk time together, then that would probably be, more in the neighborhood of 15 or 20 people at a table. Those are being created. If you have a special need, and then I'll turn it over to Robert, if you have a special need that you think in the creation of your session, if you are an organizer or a chair, if you don't, if you did not detail it in all academic as part of your submission that was accepted, anything that was submitted and accepted in that mode is accounted for. If there's something that you have in your head to do, just as in a place-based meeting, if you thought you could grab and go and break up into small groups, you would need to let us know through the annual meeting box. And I will say ASAP, because we put in a few fudge factors for every time slot, but we certainly like in a place-based meeting, if you said to us very close to the meeting, oh, we forgot we need 3 extra rooms. Well, space is not finite. So we really need to know that fast. We've committed to a number of breakouts based on your accepted submissions. And if you think there is something that's not in all academic that reflects that, you'll need to send an email to the annual meeting box. And Robert, whatever else you might want to add.
Yes, please contact us as soon as possible. We need to get that wrapped up by March 25th as well, so that Scarrett has the opportunity to create that for you. And I'll turn it back to Scarrett.
And I did, just one last thing that I was seeing was a trend, and Felice, feel free to chime in here as well. I think there was a question on pre-recorded videos. I think the expectation is that you'll be live, but if you have a video or your PowerPoint is timed, again, that would just be something that you would screen share. So if you have a video that you'd like to show, or even if, again, you choose to do that, everything would be screen shared. But Felice, again, chime in. I think the expectation is that so that you have flexibility, presentations will be live. There would be no elements that would be managed in the platform for a pre-recorded presentation.
Right. This is it's a live meeting. The formal program is live. It will be recorded. It's being recorded for multiple reasons. One is you can't be in more than one place at a time. This gives an opportunity for attendees to, particularly with the many different time zones, to go into a place on the map. If you could show that map, I think that might be useful to this group too. That's an on-demand library, and within 36 hours after that session that you may have missed or heard about and didn't have a chance to attend, you can record it. I want to emphasize that it's only available, all of the many sessions, to registrants. The sessions that we might typically, and sometimes it's quite a number, probably less than you are aware of, as many as in a place-based meeting, there may have been as many as 50 or 60 recordings. We rarely show them all on the website, but things like the presidential address or the Wallace lecture and other distinguished lectures, we will be making in public space. But access to the virtual meeting is a registrant benefit. And that registrant benefit, we worked very closely with Scarrett to make that available in our agreement to be available for 11 months. And it may be that in usual times, which we are not in, that one might find that, well, who will want to see on demand a session 6 months later? But we recognize that these are not normal times. People have many, many different work demands, health demands, transitions back, family care, child care. And by us making this available to you as a registrant and to all registrants to be able to go into the on-demand library in what might be in the Northern Hemisphere, our summer, and see sessions that you just didn't have the bandwidth to see, but maybe you've got a break time in July or August. This is intended by us to offer you a user-friendly access to the meeting for those who have registered for the meeting. So the on-demand will be available well after the live event.
So I did want to address another question that I did see coming in, which was login details. So your login details are going to be specific to the conference center. They are going to be tied to the fact that you have pre-registered. So on April 1st, and Felice and Robert, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that April 1st is the date that those details will be sent out. So that is the date. Sometime on April 1st, you'll receive an email with credentials to log in. Please make sure that you're on the lookout for that. We will be providing details leading up to as far as the email that it will come from. You know, obviously check your spam or junk mail, but April 1st is the date when login credentials will be provided.
We gave ourselves a little wiggle room, or we gave you a little wiggle room. We hope to do it on the 1st, but we officially said Friday, April 2nd, but.
April 2nd. Okay, I'm so sorry. So
we intended to give everybody a nice surprise versus disappoint them if there were pieces that needed to come together. So no later than Friday, April 2nd, 1 week out, and we hope to do it Thursday, April 1st. You know, we're integrating a lot of great collaborators. I just want to say what a wonderful aligned team this is of colleagues across the integration of, you know, many pieces. You may be less aware of that in place-based, but virtual is a real heroic on everyone's time, even though we've started this venture many, many months in advance.
So once that does come out, you'll have access to the platform, can come in and get comfortable. And at that point, that is where we are working to set up some demo sessions. So that way you have a few days before the conference starts to come in and play with the platform. So again, additional details will be coming out. I still see that coming in the comments. So I just want to acknowledge that that is not something we are overlooking. We are just working to plan the best way to have everybody to have time to do that. Felice, another question that just came in, one that was a little bit, I think, maybe confusing, is they keep hearing a March 25th deadline. So I think that is the deadline for submissions and for registration, correct?
That deadline is for a couple of things. One, it is for if you have a revision of your paper, that is the deadline for uploading what you view to be your final paper in All Academic. That is the one that will be available to the chair or moderator of that session. I encourage you to share that with other participants, but that is your own decision. But that makes for a much more engaged meeting if people know what the presentations will be. It is also the deadline that if you are in a session role, if you are a presenter of a paper, and sometimes there are two presenters, you're a presenting author. If you are the chair, if you are a discussant or commentator, you need to register by that date. Indeed, last year, I think the date was going to be February 15th. everyone who comes to the meeting must register, but we cannot be in a position as a community of not knowing whether a presenter, we discussed this earlier, whether a presenter is indeed planning on coming to the meeting. If there are 5 authors and you listed 3 presenting authors and you were going to share your 10 minutes in some creative way, that's great. But don't have as a presenting author someone who isn't presenting. You will be, who's not registered. By the 25th, all the program, as was going to be true of the place-based meeting, by really reflection and serious discussion in council, because going into a session with people not being there, whether it's a chair, a discussant, or a presenter, is not a very welcoming experience for attendees. So quite a number of, I guess I would say almost 2 years ago now, council decided that everyone who is in a presenting role must be registered. So you need to register if you are in any role by the 25th, or you will be removed from the formal program. So if you've listed multiple presenters for a paper, someone is not planning or attending, or you are unsure, then essentially, or someone else is going to be doing the presenting who is a non-presenting author. We have some fact sheets on that already. It really isn't a difference in any rule or procedure, but we don't want to drop someone. We want you to scrutinize who's doing what, register before the 25th of March, which would have been February 15th last year, and or shift roles if that's not a role that you will be playing. And that's what the 25th means. Otherwise, if you're only coming to the meeting, you can, just as we have on-site registration, which I assume there are less of among you because you've come as having some role to this specialized session. If you're only planning on attending the meeting, you can, register just as we have on-site registration. You can register on the day you arrive. You'll have to do that through Expo Logic. You'll get your credentials. We advise you to do it in advance, even if you're just an attendee, because you'll want to, set up your contact information. You'll want to do your scheduling. You'll want to kind of enjoy that networking, even if you this year don't have a formal role, but you're coming to attend sessions and both network with others. We're going to have our special sessions for first-time attendees, for new members. We're going to have a welcoming reception that we think will be quite welcoming. We're going to have an early morning event for those in the international community on a different time zone, so that we can do some social networking that sort of spans time zones. So we encourage registration for any attendee early and often, because you'll get so much more of the benefit of a virtual meeting. But anyone in any form of role on a session needs to register by the 25th. For some fields, your original submission is essentially your presentation paper, and you don't have to upload anything new. But if you have some revisions or fill-ins or anything that you wanted to add, that's the tradition. Actually, the usual date would have probably been something like March 10th. But we pushed it back to March 25th because, virtual is a little bit different for everybody, and your lives are certainly much more complex, as are ours, than in other prior years.
And there's a few other questions specifically relating to the platform I'd like to address, and then
Definitely.
I think we can turn it over to more general Q&A, because I do see a lot of questions coming in that might be better answered by the AERA team. So a few other things that I have seen come in relating to the platform are, how will receptions be handled? We did briefly touch on that, but we wanted to just clarify that the receptions will use the same platform that we demonstrated today. However, it will be more of a social engagement. So people will be invited to come and more freely speak versus maybe they're listening to a presentation. So they will still use the same platform, but it'll, again, will be up to whoever is running that session to organize it in more of a social way and to use some of the elements we've displayed to enhance that engagement. on a social end versus more of a presentation view.
And it's really quite terrific because after some, let's say, general remarks, or maybe there's a, you know, a few words from an awardee or something at a business meeting of a SIG or a division, then essentially what will happen during the social time is you're going to essentially see a schedule of those, what we're calling banquet tables, but they're breakout spaces, just like being in a breakout room. And you're gonna visually see something that's kind of feeling like all the squares I am currently looking at, or an iPad sort of template. And then you pick your room and your topic. And I think that's what our units are working on, what they want to have as table topics, what they saw. I know one division's working on some games. I think Division C is going to have different games and at different tables, and then they'll switch games. And I don't know, maybe there'll be some prizes at the end. Some may have just open, you know, just kind of sit down at a table that may be hosted by an individual. And there's a very strong level of engagement by our unit chairs, divisions, and VPs to make the social time social and fun and engaging. And Scarrett has met that need by making it a very user-friendly way during when the chair says, or the VP says, and now let's all hang out together, go and pick where you want to go. And when you pick where you want to go, if you don't like that game and want to go to a different game room, you can pop out and pop in, you know, or you want to sit at another table, just as happens when you're in a, you know, in a room with a lot of banquet tables. And I really appreciate Scarrett working on that. So it's not just table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4, but we're going to port over however your unit wants to design it. And that will be, of course, then led by the chair or VP or the program chair, however, who will have those participant roles that each of you have when you're presenting in a session.
I do see quite a few other questions. So I don't know if, I know that we have a few of the AERA team on the line answering questions, but there are a few questions that are coming in that are more geared towards, you know, actual submission questions. So I'm not sure if we want to kind of open it up to general. So Felice and team, whoever is going to be responsible for those.
Let us do this. We'll have Emily with our, you know, very strong commitment to access and inclusiveness, and our particular attention to the presenting modes with those who potentially have disabilities, attending modes for those who have disabilities, how we are expanding our attention to this, we hope every year, including in the virtual space. So Emily, if you would speak first, then we can open it up for general questions about that or other issues that people want to raise. Emily?
Hello, everyone. I am Emily Badix. Just a quick audio description of myself. I'm a white woman. I've got really curly hair and I'm sitting in front of a messy bookshelf. I am asked to share some tips with you today on how to make your presentations accessible. And I know that that is probably daunting if you've never thought about access before, because you're already adjusting to a totally new platform. And on top of it, we are encouraging you, strongly encouraging you to think about access. I think it is a really valuable practice to start thinking about for all of your presentations, and there's no better of a moment to start than this conference because there is such a huge amount of people who are coming. There's an incredible thing that's happening with this pandemic, which many people who haven't been able to travel to conferences before or haven't had the access to conferences now have access. And so it's just, an opportunity to get your information out there to a wider audience by making sure the way you do it thinks about all people and the variety of needs that people might have. I have a slide up right now that just says improving access at AERA. And my name, I'm the Associate Director at the Longmore Institute on Disability. And I've been brought on as a short-term access consultant for AERA. Related to, you know, why embrace this opportunity of thinking more about access, it isn't just about people with disabilities either. First and foremost, we need to do this to make sure our disabled colleagues have full access to our presentations, but it goes beyond that. I have an image on the slide of a woman pushing a child in a stroller and over a curb cut in the sidewalk. Curb cuts are, of course, sort of built in, thinking about wheelchair riders, and then we see that many other people end up using them. At a digital conference, that is going to be very, very clear. There are going to be people who are listening to sessions and they're going to be doing the dishes or feeding their kids or what have you. And they will benefit from some of these access features that you'll build in, where if they're not looking at the screen, they're very similar to a person who's blind and can't see the screen. So the impact, again, first and foremost, we're doing this for blind and people with all disabilities, but also, you know, the impact is going to be beneficial to potentially everyone. AERA, this is just a few bullet points on the slide right now that are part of AERA's access plan, which is still evolving and developing every day. But just some things that you need to know from a chair perspective or presenter perspective. The platform is screen reader accessible. ASL interpreters will be visible in all the sessions in which they're present. Same with captioning. There's nothing, you know, extra you have to do there to make that happen. So they're providing ASL and live captioning at all plenaries, business meetings, SIGs, and banquet receptions. But the AI captioning will be at poster sessions, paper and roundtable sessions, and banquet tables. So AI is something that's made a lot of progress lately, but it's not the same quality as live captioning. So if you know that you're attending something else and you are seeking an ASL and or a captioner, you can make that request. And my final slide today will provide the email address to make those requests. Or if you know you have an accent that's really hard for, you know, AI to be likely to pick up your talk, you could request a captioner for that as well to make sure it's accessible. There's going to be recorded narration for iPresentation, and that will have a transcript provided as well. We're going to go over tips of how to make your presentations accessible, and the papers are due by March 25th, and that's in part so that ASL and captioners have the ability to view your papers beforehand to capture the sort of key terms and the names that you might drop in. So presenting and sharing with access. I'm going to go through some specific tips for you all, but there is also a handout that has been generated and will be coming out soon that will provide additional links if you want to learn more, if you want to go, you know, deeper into making sure you're fully thinking through the best way to do this work, because access work is messy and it takes time to develop. And it's really an artful process. So I push you to learn more and really embrace this opportunity. When you're thinking about a virtual conference, there's just a lot of ways that things that happen in person just don't happen the same way, and that can create access hurdles. So there's some things you can do to smooth that out. One is that every time you start presenting, you can say your name. If somebody's just looking at the ASL interpreter, if somebody doesn't have access to, if they don't have vision, you know, it's hard to keep track with a panel of 5, 6 people of who everybody is. And so saying, this is Emily speaking, blah, blah, blah. And then when you're done, you can end by saying check, or something else that you agree on as a panel, but it's just going to give a cue to the interpreters if they need a moment to switch off, and also to your chair to know, okay, somebody else can be brought in now, or to the other panelists to know that that's an opportunity to jump in. It just is harder than it is in person, where some of that stuff can all kind of happen by, you know, pointing to each other and, you know, you can see more body language. Chairs, relatedly, should play a more active role and leave space as well for slower responses. You know, there's a tension, I think, that happens, especially in the virtual realm, to just kind of like, oh, no questions? Okay, moving along. And that sort of quick speed doesn't allow somebody with certain disabilities to get their voice heard as easily. You need to think about audio describing your presentations. And I'm going to go through some examples on how to do this. So I put these out of order. You also want to think about having your video on if you can. Some people read lips or connect to faces, and that helps them process information. However, you know, there's a lot of reasons disability related why you might need to have your video off, and that's okay too. And it's important that we not put pressure on anybody one way or the other. So thinking about providing audio description of all visual content that you would be sharing on your screen, whether it's iPresentation, whether it's a PowerPoint, Prezi, it doesn't matter, or if it's, you know, film clips. You want to provide some oral cues to somebody so they know, you know, what's on the screen. And this is challenging for folks to do at first. So I have a sort of silly meme up right now. And here's the sort of meh, not very good, almost, you know, would be better off not bothering. Text reads, me looking at the F my kid got for the math homework I solved, 2 monkeys. So that doesn't really like give any clarity if you saw that built into an iPresentation or if somebody said that. But if somebody was presenting and they just said, so I have this image up on the screen right now, and sitting near its offspring, there's an adult baboon who's clutching a paper and deeply focused on it. And the baby baboon is looking off in the distance, sort of waiting for the parent. And the text reads on the top of the image, me looking the F my kid got for the math homework I solved. That's going to give somebody who's blind or low vision, or somebody who's just walked away from their computer, access to the visual content. I think that's really important. It's really frustrating to see presenters who will just sort of drop a joke with an image and everybody in the room laughs. And the blind person is like, well, what's funny? What's happening? And, you know, that's just not the kind of culture we want to be building at AERA. As you are creating if you use iPresentation, you can build it in as alt text. You would still need to actually present it aloud for your live presentation, but because iPresentation will live in the gallery space, this makes sure that if anybody comes in at any point, they can still get access to the information of what is in an image. So you can embed it directly with your images. If you're showing a multimedia clip, you can do audio description. If you're a tech-savvy person, you can build it directly into the video. If you're not a tech-savvy person, before you show the film clip, you can just start with a little pre-show. I'm going to show a 2-minute clip. It's going to be talking with farmers in Brazil, and you know, it's mostly just sort of shots of them sitting in front of their farms talking to me, but there's a lot of B-roll of people working on the farm. Just that brief little introduction gives somebody a bit more richness and detail about what's happening in a video. That's information they should have access to. Don't forget to plan for audio description in your timing. Think about it as you're developing your slides. If you're throwing a ton of images on there, each one should be described. And so you want to be mindful of that. If you put a really complicated table or graph on there, you have to think about how you're going to describe it, and that can take up some time. But again, it's something we hear all the time, that everybody ends up benefiting of like, well, yeah, when you put that visual with that complicated graph up there, I couldn't really tell what I was supposed to see. And people say, oh, it was really helpful to hear you describe what were the visual things in that are most essential. If you are using any multimedia, you should add some captions into that. And the site that has really great resource of how to do it, whether your clip is on YouTube, Vimeo, or social media, is washington.edu/accessibility/videos. And I believe one of my colleagues will help out by posting that link in the chat. Also avoid jargon and use simple language. And that is really hard for us academics to do, but it's just a really valuable practice, especially when so much of this conference will have AI for captioning. It's just a really important way to push yourself to think about, you know, the way that language is going to hurt people with different disabilities, being able to really dive in and follow your presentation. Use big fonts, 24 point, and colors that have high contrast. You can test this by printing a grayscale and seeing, you know, how clear does that contrast look. Be cautious of slide animations and strobing GIFs. I know it's really popular to kind of put these fun things in that capture our students' attention, but you know, the cutesy appeal that might add is not worth like actual causing nausea, a migraine, or you know, worse for potentially somebody with epilepsy. So really, it's just not worth those sort of overly intense graphics. Use descriptive links if you're providing any sort of digital handouts, which will help people who use screen readers understand what the link is leading you to. For example, if you use a link that says click here, that the way screen readers read things, they read the links out of order. So that's not really going to help somebody who's going back in looking for your link knowing what it says, as opposed to the link being connected to this link connects to information about descriptive links. And that was a ton of content, a little fast. There's a lot more too. Again, you can go deeper and deeper into Access, and it's a really valuable and important opportunity to be building a culture at AERA in which all members can participate. If you yourself have any Access concerns, whatever they may be, that are related to Access for disability, this is very different than sort of tech access, unless it's disability related, please don't hesitate to reach out to access@aera.net. Once again, that's access@aera.net. And again, that is the email you want to use to make your requests if you're looking for ASL or captioning for any of those programs that are currently going to be AI, if that's not going to be adequate for you. One more note about that, which is that there will be a couple of floats. I would say a couple, but I don't yet know the exact number. But people, ASL interpreters and captioners who are available for sort of those impromptu meetings, that moment of like, oh, everybody on my panel wants to keep the conversation going and I need additional access in order to do that, that can be requested live at the presentation or at the conference. So with that, I will pass it back, and I appreciate you all for your learning and listening.
I think we can open it up for general questions, more specifically to Emily or to the Scarrett group or to Robert and me. What are we hearing, Nathan, Tony?
Someone asked whether there are suggested protocols for removing disruptive attendees from live sessions.
We will be, we are continuing our Ombuds program. We are going to, we have been expanding our, I'd say, series of bullets on what our expectations are for welcoming and inclusive formal or informal sessions. We'll be providing some specific guidance to, I suppose, the chair, who essentially is the leader of that session. And we're working with Scarrett on how within a session you will be able to do a notification message. And we'll have a procedure if it should happen that there is any form of unwelcoming or harassing conduct. There will be an opportunity for the chair to advise the person engaging in that you would like them to refrain from continuing along those lines. If after that happens, that continues in any way, there will be a process for removal available. Tony?
So as you've seen, Felice, there have been a number of questions about the roles of different participants in symposia, structured poster sessions, and requests for additional information on what their roles will be within this platform. I think it's worth noting that additional information will be posted to the ARA website and the Facts at a Glance page addressing these questions.
Yes, and I think as Asia had pointed out, some questions relate to the technology of the virtual platform. Many relate to how these different motifs unfold and what our collective expectation is in attending a roundtable or a paper session or a symposia that that probably have a lot of history of materials behind them, and you know, I'll say years of experience and ideally years of transformation to make for a better and more engaged meeting. We will both be posting them, and as I said, I think we'll just open up, because I think there can be a confabulation in all of our minds between the virtual platform and what are best practices of presenting or participating in a role in a session. So for example, for many, many years, many scholarly societies like AERA had discussants who, quote unquote, were kind of given their own paper, but they really weren't adding to a paper session, leading us actually to make discussants as quite optional. Now, discussants are aiming to be kind of the voice of the attendee and framing or adding issues that enhance and add to or raise questions that paper presenters can address to enliven and enrich the experience over just looking at the papers in the paper repository or the presentations in the iPresentation gallery. I suppose it's not a bad idea. We really want to strike a balance. We know we get some messages like, why so many sessions? If it's all so easy, why do you have, I don't know, we probably have had 6 or 8 already. And so maybe some informal additional sessions that are questions and conversation, and we just set up 1-hour chats after we post that that material. Much of that material is material that's existed in AERA for years, that you see actually in the call for submissions, and that we describe around session types. But we really want, we don't want to say, hey, we've said this before. That's not the aim here. The aim here is that everyone really feel actually comfortable with best practices. And that's why we've encouraged shortened talks of things like Ed Talks or Ignites that are in symposia, maybe 3 to 5 minutes of kind of getting the essence of what you have to say on a particular issue on the table, and then engaging in more of a town hall meeting motif led by the chair or moderator. And really the chair should be knowing what the session was about, and how plan should underscore that with the participants. But a lot of our presenters are in paper sessions, roundtables, posters, or the more classical symposia. And we want you to feel very comfortable with participating, recognizing that the fact that it's virtual may make some feel it's more different than not. So we'll open that up. There'll be the fact sheets Tony and I just referred to, but we're going to create some informal opportunity for further discussion, so that, you know, our goal is that anybody who wants to reach out, and if I put it that way, reach out and connect with others in advance of the meeting, feel you've had your voice heard and your concerns or innovations, you know, addressed. Others, Tony?
Yes, someone asked whether in roundtables, if there's an expectation that different presenters speak with one another, or is it more like a presenter speaks, then there's Q&A, then another presenter speaks, followed by additional Q&A?
Well, in the real life roundtable, I suppose both are done. The kind of ideal architecture when a committee, joint committee of members, of the research at AERA Research Advisory Committee and the AERA Annual Meeting Policy and Procedures Committee were jointly charged to think about these issues and make for a more engaged meeting along a number of dimensions, including the way the review process was conducted. I don't want to say ideal, because of course that was introduced in 2010, but with a lot of enthusiasm, and the enthusiasm has grown around participating in roundtables. They are really envisioned not as sequential interactions with presenters. It really is an effort to generate a conversation so that that almost like lightning talks or ed talks, that each person might start with 3 or 4 minutes. The chair of the roundtable might say, well, we have introduce it. We have 3 papers that are part of this discussion group, or we have maximum of 5, of course. And they all, they all have their distinctive qualities, but they kind of connect around the broader theme of school dropouts. We will be hearing a kind of a brief kind of capturing the nature of the paper and that work in a few-minute opening. I, as chair, have some questions I'm prepared to throw in, but we want this to be a discussion between and among you, and you can already see, which you'll be able to see in that virtual space. You'll be able to know how many people have joined. If it's a small group, you can say not only is your microphone available when we open it up for general questions, but you can put your video camera on. There's only 18 of us around the room. And the emphasis is that unlike just presenting and, maybe getting a few questions from the commentator or the audience, that you together are engaging in interaction and discussion and question asking, so that when you leave that session, you not only are sparked in terms of future things you might do, but it may also give you ways of thinking about things you want to clarify or revise as you bring this work to publication. And those who are attending, who have ostensibly some interest in the topic or in the work that you're doing, will be able to also chime in and benefit. So that's kind of the dynamic. It's the difference between, teaching a more formal, even a more formal small group activity where there's more of a presenter and Q&A, like a paper session. Tends to be a little bit more stylized, and leading a graduate seminar, except where the participants are students or scholars, and working to share interest and add and enhance the experience for everyone. That's the ideal. If that may work in some ways by taking a few questions, but recognizing it's only an hour, you don't want to be dominated by presentation, which you could do, but you would be losing that buzz that we're trying to create in the roundtable motif. We also hope by having roundtables and posters only an hour, that there'll be less hopping around. You go to a ballroom and people are bouncing around, and that you'll bring it, that attendees will kind of enjoy the hour with you, knowing that for roundtables, they could watch them later. Paper sessions are an hour and a half. They can also watch them on demand, but also that they'll have lots of choices, because there are a lot of dedicated hours for both paper sessions, roundtable sessions, and poster sessions.
Let me ask Nathan or Robert if they see questions they want to make sure are asked.
And I would say, if you could put in the Q&A one thing that you wish we might be able to do before we all get together on the 8th. That's what I meant by, we'll have these ranges of videos open for the attendee. We're repeating another version of this on Monday for those in roles. We've had 2 town hall meetings. We've had 3 sessions also recorded on preparing an interactive presentation. But we want to be sure that while we try to, role play, and we are, many of us are members of our research community. So we've tried to anticipate what you want, but we don't want to speak or read for you. If you in that Q&A could just say, if there was one more thing, I only wish, and we'll try to figure out what that means in a way that we don't want you to feel, here's one more email inviting you to one more thing, unless you'd like to be invited to, as my grandmother would say, the coffee clutch and learn a little bit more. So with that, I want to kind of leave that Q&A open. Of course, you can always send me a direct email, flevine@aera.net. If this relates to the interactive presentation in any way, there's a dedicated box for that, which is presentation-gallery@aera.net. Emily has underscored the dedicated box around access issues, access@aera.net. That's a kind of a triage across 3 kinds of things on your minds. And then, of course, there's the general annual meeting box. And we do try to move through all of the boxes and be as responsive as we can, as quickly as we can. I want to thank all of you. There's still quite a number of you who've been with us from opening moments, which I guess were technically 12:05 Eastern Time. And those who remain with us, we really appreciate everyone joining with us. We learn every time we do a live session, as opposed to just running the B-roll, as they say. And I really appreciate all of my colleagues who've worked so hard. I will say, not only the voices you've heard, but ARA is not a large staff or large team. We're under 30, and we're all pulling at making this together a grand meeting and grand success, as we have benefited in our collaboration with our all academic colleagues, Emily as our special consultant, our SCARRET, that's the center of gravity of this session and the one on Monday, but also will be with us at the town hall meeting, and our dear colleagues who've been working with us for many years on ASL and on live closed captioning. With that, I hope the rest of whatever time of the 24-hour clock it is for you, it goes well, that this has benefited you, and that you give us feedback, so we're sure to do as well as we can in the weeks ahead. Have a good follow-up and a relaxing time after this opening.